Star Trek Prodigy, Season 1, Episode 9 review. You got
Dun, dun,
conned by a
dun.
bunch of teenagers.
He did. Although, he is a pretty. Dal was raised by a Ferengi, so
And they do have hologram Janeway to help them with it, so
yeah.
not quite fair, but you got conned by a bunch of teenagers is still a funnier way of saying it.
True.
Yeah.
True. But one thing I found funny, I think I was like talking to Doc about this. I don't know if you're there,
Uh-huh.
but I was like, watch this. Merv is going to eat the protostar, but I kind of said it's about to explode, so they have Merv eat it before it explodes. But he still ate it. It's like I see, I was right. He did end up eating it. Because gotta love being indestructible.
Yep. You knew that would happen eventually, just by the emphasis they put on him being indestructible.
So, asking for a friend, what would happen if you were to eat a bunch of photon grenades? You would. Oh, okay, yeah.
You would explode.
You would explode.
Well, I'll be right back. No, man. Spit it out, boy. Spit it out.
It's like, I'm so sorry.
You didn't blow up. You're indestructible. Yay!
Now, so one thing I gotta say though, Janeway has like the worst luck. Like she's been hacked and turned off like 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah.
Oh, but I guarantee that that they set up that she can be restored from the buffer, and they saved a copy of her to a buffer and hid that somewhere on the ship. So inevitably, if Gwen ends up on there, she can just wipe the old Janeway, wipe the new Janeway, and they can restore classic Janeway from that.
Yeah. And okay, one thing I was like thinking, I may be wrong, but Killer Robot Dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm beginning to think he originally was like a Starfleet robot, but was like reprogrammed, because he really knows how to work that ship.
We'll have to wait until the season finale to find out.
Oh, sweet. Lovely.
Or beyond, depending on
beyond.
Whenever they reveal his origin, if they ever do.
Origin story.
Gotta love a good origin story.
Right?
It's gonna be interesting, given that they're probably going to tidy up this story next episode. At least they're gonna get the protostar back probably by the end of next episode, because that's how these things work, or at least they'll be on a cliffhanger on the way to getting the protostar back. And so is that, if they, with the miners now released from their thing, if they get his old ship fixed up and they take the protostar back, it's like, oh yeah, we've given the miners that ship, and they can just go back to where they are and just leave him somewhere. I don't know. Interesting.
So that is a funny thing, though. Like, they're miners, and most of them are miners.
Mm-hmm.
But
But,
like, well, damn, they took our thing. We can't exactly go back there. We freed everybody, and they might want to kill us.
oh, Diviner's
Team
coming back
Rocket's
because
blasting off again.
because the thing he wanted the protostar for was for the protostar, I would imagine.
I mean, technically, he just said he wanted the protostar. I mean, he got the protostar. The ship is called a protostar. He has to be more specific, you know.
He did want the ship. No, he was specific. He wanted that ship.
Yeah, he wanted that ship. He didn't say anything about the thing on board. So, you know,
I think we've run even because you said you were giving us that ship, and then you took out the power, and we gave you that ship and took out the protostar power. So
yeah,
we both
even Steven.
We were both missing important pieces of infrastructure on those ships. So
it evened out.
Oh. I do like the uniforms. The uniforms are nice.
Oh yeah, the new uniforms. Bleak.
Which I'm sure in season 2, when they get everybody back on the protostar, we get everything sort of settled up, and perhaps we'll even resolve the diviner in some way, shape, or form. Like, he might, eventually end up where he wanted to be, but he can't, like, it ended up being a lie, or whatever he was told was a lie. It's like, oh, he wants to reunite with his people or something, or where his homeland or something, but this homeland's been destroyed or something. I don't know. It'll be something like that, and he'll realize, oh, all that was for nothing. And then he'll be kind of adrift, and then who knows what they'll do with that. But yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, next season they'll hold on to those because it's a cool uniform, and it gives them a nice look. Though it is also,
who knows? Maybe that's the uniform of Starfleet right now.
Yeah, it depends on when this is. Is this because we actually know quite a bit about a lot of the uniforms. Maybe that's the current cadet uniform. That might be the current cadet uniform, and so whenever they
that's why it's white, because they have no rank or like orientation. Maybe.
As long as it's not red.
Actually, that was disproven.
I know.
Even in the original series. And in all subsequent series, red is command. I mean, red is command. So, like.
Oh, then that makes it even worse. I don't want to be in command of anybody.
Dad wants to be a captain. He's like, I'm the captain of this here ship.
Yeah, I mean, assuming that they eventually resolve this whole diviner thing, like, what's next? Because with the protostar, if they get it all patched back together, put the protostar back in its place, recharge all the energy, they have, if they save the miners, get the diviner sort of put away with something else, he's doing something else, he's no longer a threat, or he's whatnot, they get away from everything, like, we know that they could get to Federation space from what the proto jump seemed to say. Like, they could get to Federation space. So, like, what do they do? Because I guess they just keep going on adventures or something. But, like, do you eventually just go, hey, maybe we should go check out the Federation?
I would like to see them join the Federation, or go to the Federation and see that hashed out. Which, I mean, they're not going to get a bunch of repercussions because they're refugees. They stole the ship because the ship was already stolen by someone else.
Congratulations. Yeah. You guys are now going to be janitors.
Well, the thing is, they're also, well, I mean, you have the Crusher sort of thing, but like they've had a lot of training for somebody who isn't
a cadet.
Who isn't old enough to be a cadet.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's also like Naomi Wildman and Icheb who were trained basically in a similar way. They're in a whole nother place. There is no Starfleet to train them, so they learn on the fly.
Yeah, because it is kind of interesting. It's like, yes, they have massive training on the Protostar. They've been trained in basically how to fix all Federation facilities. Dallas spent countless hours running the Kobayashi Maru. Countless hours.
Beat the Kobayashi Maru.
Beat it.
Dal basically beat the Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, without cheating. Like, what?
Without cheating.
Yeah, that's like, wait, you won without cheating? Yeah, he got creative. He dealt with a lot of stuff, and he got really creative, but he
Don't
beat it.
Ask how many times it took him. Yeah. But he did it.
But yeah, it's like, what would they, it's like, okay, well, let's make you full cadets here. It's sort of figure out what to do with you, because you're not old enough to go to the academy, but you've got way too much training on Federation starships. Like, you could operate as an ensign right now. I mean,
yeah.
Some of them. I mean, we don't know how old. Gwen looks like she's basically the eldest of the group.
Yeah,
and she acts.
And
like
we know Gwen is 16 because of that flashback.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so she's not there quite yet, but she's the eldest.
Because that flashback said 16 or 17 years ago, when he was talking about creating his progeny.
Okay, so she's not quite old enough. Well, unless they do a Wesley Crusher, she's not quite old enough, and she seems to be the eldest of the group. So, just by maturity.
Well, her and Dal. We don't know how old Dal is.
Dal can be like in his 30s.
I doubt it.
Okay, early 20s.
I think his maturity level says he's. I think Gwen is the eldest. Just because of the way she acts, she's acts the most mature out of all of them.
But that's also upbringing.
Yeah, I guess it's upbringing to a certain extent, and personality to a certain extent. But she does act the most mature out of the group.
And
so,
and who knows?
I suspect she's the eldest. But
I'm pretty sure Rock is the youngest.
Yeah.
Well, there's also Jankum. Jankum Pog could be older.
Maybe, but I think my instinct on it is that I'd say that, but Zero might be older than all of them. She might be the oldest.
Yeah. Zero might be like 100 years old or something.
Because Zero is a Deucin, so
yeah. So I'm gonna say she might be the eldest of them all. Then Gwen. Then I think Jacob and
Jankum
and Dal are probably, I'm gonna say probably roughly around the same age, I think.
But you also gotta look at it this way: each of their species may have a different rate of maturity.
Oh yeah,
like for instance, 50 may still be a child.
For instance, Rock Talk, she lived how long?
In the time gap?
by herself learning all that stuff.
Yeah.
Within that other time, within that time loop.
Yeah, it wasn't really a loop, but
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That
during the temporal anomaly, we don't know how long she lived in that temporal anomaly.
Exactly. And she still has that childlike attitude. So.
Yeah.
We don't know how old her species lives.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And being a rock type species, they probably live longer.
And rock type are weak against water type.
Yeah. So don't cry on her.
But yeah, I think she's the youngest. Zero might be the eldest.
Maturity wise, at least, Rock is the youngest.
Oh yeah.
Zero's the eldest, then Gwen, then Dal, then Jacob, I think, and then Rock at the bottom. But
yeah,
in terms of maturity, but from what, like, I don't know. We don't know anything about that. So I mean, like, it all stems back to them being too young to be full-fledged cadets, I think, unless they give them sort of a crusher exemption or something where they can start learning earlier, given that they have so much working experience, or they're gaining so much working experience. It would be interesting to know what the Federation would do. It's like, okay, well, we've got the protostar back.
We got these kids here. We don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, like none of them have official guardians, so we'd have to find them guardians. Figure out what to do with all of them.
Imagine when they meet Janeway, like actual Janeway for the first time.
Yeah, because depending on when this is, like, if this is, just after, if it's not been, well, I don't know how long.
I mean, as long as she's still alive.
Yeah, we don't know how long. We don't know what year it is in Prodigy, so
yeah,
we don't know how old.
Janeway basically, is. As long as she's still alive.
Yeah,
like she has a very, very recognizable voice.
I mean, I can tell you when it takes place.
What's that?
2383. Prodigy only takes place a few years after that in 2383. The Hagmans also confirmed that this Janeway is in the same time period as the crew of the Protostar, and that she's not involved in any time travel shenanigans herself.
Okay, so if we're talking same time period, she might only, assuming this is basically, they're coming back with a Janeway it would be going to the Federation with a Janeway that doesn't look too dissimilar from the Janeway that they've got.
Yeah.
So
that poor Janeway is going to have a lot of random hugs.
It's like, who are you?
Janeway, you're real.
Wait.
Who are you?
Wait, how did you get off the ship, Janeway? No, I'm real. What are you? I talk? What? I'm gonna need more coffee.
Janeway, I can hug you. You're not a.
Oh, I imagine they could theoretically hug Hollow Janeway because they are hard-like constructs. True. So it would be, but she would be real. But yes, but would be very confused and just like.
She would be so confused by all the random kids hugging her.
Ensign, I'm gonna need more coffee. Get me more coffee.
Yes.
But miss, the doctor said no, coffee now.
No.
True, because if you remember in Voyager, the end of Voyager, when she's back on Earth, like future her at least, like you need to cut back on the coffee. What?
Well, at least switch to decaf.
But yeah, but still,
It's already 8 degrees outside. Kill me now.
But yeah, coffee. It's like, I'm gonna need more of this.
Although that scene with them all drinking coffee was kind of cute.
It was adorable. Like everybody got their coffee.
But fascinating to see. This is like Dal said, this isn't going to be one of his half-baked plans, so this should be very interesting to see.
He had to make sure he had more than 11% of a plan.
Yeah. But yeah, his schemes are his schemes are very creative.
Always come up with a plan and 2 more just in case the first 2 fail.
Oh, the first casualty of any war is the plan.
Yep.
Generally.
Yeah.
Or, the cannon fodder you send out
to enact said plan.
Exactly.
Wait. So I guess the protostar, the star itself, I guess it wasn't its ship's only power source because the ship seemed to still be running.
Oh no, it has its own warp core.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got 2. It's got the warp core that runs just normal power and gets them to warp. Then the protostar charges a whole other system, and a lot of the power system from the warp core, a lot of that power is used to contain the protostar.
Useful.
And so the only thing they use the protostar for, in fact, it has more warp core than a ship that size normally would have, because it wants to have the excess power to power the containment on the protostar. Then the protostar charges up, and that gives them whatever it does. That acts as what you need to create their sort of super warp that lets them jump that far.
Hey, here's one thing I'm curious at. So I'm guessing like normal warp's pretty fast, and I'm guessing Super Omega Go Plaid warp is like at least light speed.
Oh, warp is already faster than light.
Okay, so here's my question.
Several orders. It depends on which scaling system, because they use 2 different scaling systems. There was sort of TOS, sort of the original series, the Kirk sort of scaling, and then TNG introduced another one, a different scaling, and so.
So I can sort of get how like the ships go into warp, faster light speed, right? Did they explain how humans survive going that fast without turning into jelly?
Inertial dampeners.
Artificial gravity. Artificial gravity.
Yeah, and inertial dampeners basically.
Go ahead.
Yeah, allow you to basically ignore that acceleration. It's very inertial dampeners are very much a big hand wave in the Star Trek universe as to, you can accelerate to that. Well, also they aren't, getting a little technical here, but they aren't accelerating inside of space. What they're doing is folding space around them.
True.
And so they never really...
That's why it's called warp. They emit a gravitational field that shrinks the space around them. Yeah, they're warping space-time, which is also why in Next Generation they had that issue in that one area because so many people went to such high warp that it basically was tearing the fabric of space-time.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining two planets that are like really far away from each other, all of a sudden get really close to each other, like, oh, hey Bob, hey Phil, and just go back to normal.
Yeah, well, it's very contained. It's very around the ship. It's very much a bubble around the ship.
It's basically, actually, Kyle Hill did a video describing it, like explaining warp field.
Yeah, the Alcubierre drive, essentially.
Yeah.
Because there was a guy who basically kind of worked out, like, we don't know if it's a plausible way, but you'd have to have access to criminally insane amounts of energy to get it to work, and the right kind of energy, I think. It's been a long time since I looked it up, that it's like insane amounts of energy to make it work. But if you could generate that amount of energy, you theoretically could go faster than light, according to this. But there's a lot of buts in there. Like, but
oh yeah, I mean, there's always buts in science. I mean, that's the whole point of science.
Yeah, all of the scientists tend to have butts.
I know, right? It's why theory and scientific theory are two way different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's theoretically possible to do warp, but the inputs, we don't even know if we can generate enough of the inputs that you would need, and the sort of what you would need to do to all the inputs you would need to make that happen.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're truly prodigious amounts of stuff. And we still don't know, even then it might not work. Anyway.
I kind of miss seeing the cute little cat alien.
Yeah, that one's cute.
They're setting that one up to be a mascot character that comes with them, aren't they?
Oh, most definitely. She's gonna be
you
on the new toy line.
Murph, so
no. They're setting her up for something else.
Well, I mean, she has to be on the new toy line, you know.
Yeah.
They're like hotcakes.
But anyway. Is there anything else we want to talk about with Prodigy?
Let me think.
We didn't get a lot of new stuff, but we got like that cliffhanger to we're going to get some revelations next episode about the whole diviner situation, what that's about. Like, we got that set up, but we never actually paid it off yet. So that episode, so it's going to be till next episode at least till we get some of that paid off, and how they're going to do it. Like, next episode is payoff. It's going to pay off the planning, all that stuff that we didn't get to see what was going on. That's all going to get paid off next episode.
True, and
presumably.
I guess what I have to say is the Protostar's a lot smaller than I thought it was.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was like bigger. But I mean, Murph ate it, and it fit inside Zero's fake suit.
Oh, that. I thought you were talking about the ship. No, the Protostar is actually small, but it emits such an immense energy. It's like a reverse black hole.
Well, hopefully Merv doesn't digest it, because that is gonna be some bad gas.
Oh God! What's that smell? Murph, did you swallow? Did you actually eat that?
Now I just want to see an entire planet of Mervs.
Aw, Murph
get back to
World.
Murph's homeworld. They all look exactly like Murph.
No.
Or
Okay.
no. Murph is the only silent one. All the rest of them won't shut up.
No. It's like that. It's like that Star Wars holiday special where
Oh God.
where where Chewbacca, it turns out, is actually like really dumb compared to them. Like the rest of them can talk, the rest of them like wear clothes, and he just doesn't because he's a nudist or something.
Excuse me, you've been butt naked this entire time. Oh God. I got nothing more.
And we got a Star Wars reference.
Yeah.
And we got a Star Trek reference.
The entire
I know, right? It's like a reference inside a reference.
Anyway, if we don't have any further business with Prodigy, we shall move on.
Yep.
All right.